So I'll tell you what I found to be interesting. And that is that, you know, I put out a lot of content, put out a lot of podcasts, put out a lot of stuff that helps the community, right? And then I'll get messages that'll be like, well, Corey, you know, what do I do? Never had a sales job. You know, how am I supposed to get into sales? Well, I got some magic for you. I've got a magic formula. If you're trying to get into sales, you've never been into sales. If you've never been in sales and you're trying to get into sales, and let's just pretend for a minute that maybe you just want to be able to sell high-end cars, right? Let's just give that for an example. Say your goal is to sell cars at the Porsche dealership, right? Because you're a Porsche guy, right? And so if your goal is to start selling cars at the Porsche dealership, you're probably not going to start out at the Porsche dealership. Or if you do, you're probably going to start out not as a salesperson. Now, I don't know how it actually works in car sales because I've never done car sales, believe it or not. But what I'll tell you is this, that if you don't, you know, look, if you don't have time to go get experience, then you're probably not going to be, you know, you're probably not going to be able to master this thing. I've spent 25 years working on this stuff. I've spent the last decade and a half talking to people and working with other business owners and coaches. And what I found is this, is like, I can give you all the information that I want, right? I can give you every step of my program. I can give you, you know, a sales process. I can give you follow-up processes. I can give you prospecting follow-up processes. It doesn't matter, right? Because you're not going to do anything with it. And sometimes I wonder why I sit here and give you this stuff for free if you're not going to do anything with it. Now, you might be thinking, well, Corey, that's really fucked up that you would say that. You might be thinking, well, Corey, that's really, you know, that it's really a shit way of thinking of it. Well, Corey, it's really a negative way of looking at it. But is it? Is it a negative way? Have you been doing these things? Fuck no. Or you wouldn't be sitting here right now watching this video. And so, listen, sometimes you got to hear the hard truth. The hard truth is you can stay right where the fuck you are. Or you can get off the fucking sidelines and make something of yourself. And stop crying about that job that you lost. Stop crying about that opportunity that you lost. Stop whining about that deal you lost, but you didn't lose shit because you never had it. And that's just the truth. You know that and I know that. I mean, did they put the money in your bank account? No. Hell no. Right? I mean, so you didn't lose anything. You can't lose anything if you don't have it. So, let's get back to one of the biggest things that holds people back in sales, and that is the lack of organizational systems and processes. Bottom line, it held me back for years. It still holds me back from time to time. I am not the most organized person you've ever met. However, I promise you one thing, I'm going to work twice as hard as you. I'm going to put in twice as much time. And I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, sometimes it takes me longer than what it might take you. But I'm going to get it done, right? No matter what. If I tell you I'm going to get it done, I'm going to get it done. And so, you know, I just feel like, you know, I feel like society's gotten a little soft, right? And I really wonder about this new generation. And the reason I wonder, I mean, damn, dude, like, I'm 44 years old. I have no problem picking up the phone and asking you why you ghosted me, right? I have no problem with that. I have no problem asking you what the fuck's going on. Last phone call we had, you said X, Y, and Z, and now you're saying A, B, and C. What's the situation? Because I don't deal with shady fucking people. I don't deal with people that are going to do some shady shit, right? I don't come into your business in a black hole of a mess that you've made and come in and just change everything overnight, right? You think about this. It's like a fat person. A fat person gets pissed off because they're 6 months into their fucking workout program and they've only lost 10 pounds. You're like, damn, dude, this shit don't work. Well, wait a minute. Let's scroll back for a minute. You're how old? 32 years old. Fantastic. You're 32 years old, so it took you 32 years to get this fucking fat, and you think in 6 months your fat ass is going to be skinny. Well, it's unreasonable expectations. What makes you think that that's going to happen? Because it took you 32 years to get here. You think it's not going to take you a while to get back, and damn sure it's going to take you longer than 6 months. Unless you're, firing up some crystal meth, which I would not recommend at all. And look, you don't have to do anything, right? You don't have to make a decision, right? I mean, look, by you not making a decision, guess what? You've made a decision. A decision to not make a decision is a decision. So I want you to think about that when you're like, well, maybe, well, yeah. Think about this, all right? Most people, when they tell you yes the first time, us as salespeople, we're like, fuck yeah, we got this one. And that other person's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. They're not going to do that shit. They're not going to do it. And this is part of the reason that I tell people, or I explain to people, why it's so important to utilize the no-oriented question. And I'm going to tell you what that means, and if you've ever worked with me, you'll know exactly what I'm about to do. So, would you be against practicing making 10 phone calls per day to random customers? To your ideal customer, not random. Let me rephrase that. Pick out 10 people in your industry, and pick up the phone and make 10 phone calls a day. And look, you're not calling to sell them anything. Understand that, Mr. Hot and Heavy, commission fucking breath, like, salivating at the mouth for your damn check. Like, pump the fucking brakes, bro. This is where people fuck up. You don't get on the phone and start pitching people, or you're gonna fucking get hung up on. And if you think your damn service is so great that you don't have to close, I mean, you don't have to walk people through a sales process, you're an idiot. Now, I don't really think you're an idiot, but I think you might be acting like an idiot. And acting like an idiot is thinking that you, as the business owner, can be successful without other people. Do you think McDonald's is successful with one person? Walmart? Target? Name it, right? Neiman Marcus? Saks? Come on. It takes a team of people, folks. I have basically, for me, it's just me, right? Except for I have a team behind me. I'm the main product, right? I am the product, basically. And without me, right, there is no business, currently. And this is where I find a lot of business owners find themselves later down the road when they're trying to sell their business. They realize, I am the fucking business. Without me, there is no business. I'm the sales guy. I pay all the bills. I manage all the employees. Yeah, you're the business. And so the interesting part about that is, and this is what really upsets me with when people, get to this spot, and it's not their fault, and it's not your fault if you're in this spot. But you're not supposed to know how to run a business. You're not supposed to know how to do books. You're not supposed to know how to pay taxes. You're not supposed to know how to manage payroll. You're not supposed to know how to do all that shit. Most people in your industry learn by failing and making mistakes. And so that's how I learned. And that's why I'm so goddamn good at what I do. because I've been through this. I've been through spinning 17 plates at once and trying to do 24 things at a time and getting none of them done. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to work that hard and to have such a vision and such a dream and feel like it's right there. For one day, only for one day to have somebody rip that out from under you, which is exactly what it felt like for me. Now, the truth of the matter is, I had my part in that. And everybody has their part in every situation, whether you think you do or not. Even if you're the car that got rear-ended, you still have a part in it. You were sitting in front of that car. Right? I'm not saying it's your fault, I'm just saying you had a part in it. If you weren't there, that would have never happened. So, listen, I don't really talk about this a lot, but I'm about to start talking about it a lot. If you want to get better in sales, if you're a business owner and you're trying to shore some of these things up, or maybe you are services, you are in the trades, you are in a service-based industry, or maybe you're in a product industry, I don't know, but what I do know is this. If you don't have a process that you follow every day, strategy, point A to point B strategy, each one of your guys or girls, or both, follow. Let's just say, for example, you've got multiple locations. Well, let's say you've got a location in Alabama, and you've got a location in Palm Springs, California, you've got a location in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm moving from Las Vegas to Palm Springs, but I'm in wherever the third place I said, right? Ohio, or wherever the hell it was. And so I go to the Ohio store, right? And I check out the Ohio store, and the Ohio store looks great. I sign up, right? And then I go to the Nevada store, and it's totally different. Like, the process is different, the check-in's different, the services are different. Like, it's incongruency. And what is that? For me, in my brain, subconsciously or unconsciously, it tells me things are not right with this company. I'm not sure if I should have invested my money here. Things don't seem quite right. And when things don't seem quite right, they're probably not. And look, this is how you build a brand. You can't build a brand if you don't have congruency. And if you don't have systems and processes. If you don't have things mapped out, you can't build a brand. Why? Because if you have a location A and you're trying to open location B, and location A is mediocre, you're going to scale mediocrity. I don't think you want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to scale success. I don't want to scale mediocrity. But, hey, whatever you think. And like I said before, you're not going to do anything with this. But if you do want to do something with it, the Sales CEO Syndicate is going to be open April 1st. I would encourage you to join. My name is Corey Barrier. I am the Sales CEO. You can find me on all the social channels at Corey Barrier, and we'll see you guys on the other side. I think I crushed that bitch.